What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics, and today we have a top 10 song reaction for the group Gene, brought to us by our patron, longtime supporter, and friend of the channel, Ian. Thank you, Ian. Always appreciate you and all the patrons. Check out the link below if you want to support us in any way. I had never heard of the band Gene. I did all the research. Usually Trey does these for Ian. I said, I got this one, man, so looking forward to it. Let's dive in a little bit. Here's what Ian has to say about the group Gene. This is another band I grew up with, and although had some commercial success, were overshadowed by big Britpop bands at the time. They were tagged by many as a Smiths lookalike / cover band, which I think is a shame, as they had their own distinctive sound. One of the first bands I saw live when I was a student, and once I saw several times, though I missed their most impressive concert at the Royal Albert Hall in 1997, as the day I was due to go, we had a break-in burglary at my shared student digs and had to sort out the mess. Man, and all these years later, you remember that because you missed a great show. For me, Gene are a band that had a bright, glorious arrival with a truly grade A album, Olympian, and the B-side collection To See the Light shows the strength of their early work. The following albums had some high points, but were always in their own shadow. They were an all-around good band, no overpowering element, and no towering genius, and that's all right, man. The critics and music press seem to like them more than the public, often compared to the Smiths and Morrissey, but Martin Rossiter, in my mind, is a superior vocalist. I believe he has gone on to be a music teacher, which earns him my respect, Ian said, and earns mine as well. And all I found on him, really, besides, Ian did a great job writing them up, they were the recipients of the inaugural NME Brat Award for Best New Act. Both NME and Melody Maker voted them their brightest hope for 1995, so obviously they came in with a bang. We're going to dive into this list with number 10, Speak to Me Someone, from the Drawn to the Deep End album in 1997. Really couldn't find any research on this song, and yes, I really do look on all of these. First time joining us, check out the link below. The music will not be in this video, but there's a link where you can watch along with this. Once again, thank you, Ian, and I'm going to have these lyrics pulled up. Speak to me, someone. What a way to start this top 10, man. I really, really dig this sound, man. It's fantastic. I also like, just before we get into the song itself, the production, where it had a couple false stops, right? Where you're like, okay, you knew it wasn't over because the first one was only a minute and a half into the song, but it drew you back in. It builds, and then when it gets to the crescendo, it stops. So it draws you back in, and then he starts out again well when he builds again. Just a fantastic way to construct a song. The song itself, he's waiting for someone. Speak to me, someone. I don't know who this someone is. It's kind of hard to tell. I want him to come smashing through the window and hold him. Smashing my life and now hold me. Don't set me free, or I've waited too long and I'm dying. Smash into me, someone, and hold me. Speed into this life and now hold me, hold me. It talks about the darkness folding across the sky. So he's wanting someone to smash into his life and be his. That's kind of what I get out of that. And the guitar work by Steve Mason and the drumming by Matt James was fantastic on there. And I dig Martin's sound, but I'm a big Smiths fan, so maybe that's why I dig the sound. But I don't want to lump him in there, even though every single review and article I read about him did lump him in to the Smiths, so I know that's how they're looked at, but I really enjoyed that one. We'll go to the next track, as you see below. The very next song on the album, We Could Be Kings. Well, we're 2 for 2, another fantastic track. We Could Be Kings starts out chilled, builds again. Martin's fantastic on his vocals, and I mentioned it during the song itself. Very Morrissey sounding, very Smith sounding on this, so I get it. I promise you I won't say that on every song, but as it's unfolding, I'm like, okay. So I think he's talking to a love interest, but he could be talking to a friend as well, or friends, and I kind of went back and forth on that. Believe me, I'm not scared by anything, but being you, you could break me and drain my heart and wrench my spirit. What do I do? That's so enchanting, you can't bear to leave me. I deserve hell. So take me, do your worst, and do it proper. The shell must break. So I'm thinking, okay, so that's spoken to a love interest, but then We Could Be Kings, This Planet Is Ours, we've love on our side, the keys to my car will storm through the city, oh, let's drive, hold tight. Also could be a love interest, but that could be to friends. Oh, believe me, it's time to tell my friends I love them, they deserve more than hasty deliver words of kindness. I'm sure you know that. Then we get the chorus again. Then we get, will you hold me like a child, will you catch me when I fall, can you hear me when I call, can you love me? Then gets into when he's hungry and cold, when he gets old, hold me like a child, catch me when I fall. So I don't know if it's to friends because he ends with that friends line again. I don't know if it's friends or love interest. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's a wonderfully constructed song again, very catchy. Everything on it is top notch. All the instrumentation, once again, Steve Mason on the guitar. You got Matt James on the drums, and you've got Kevin Miles on the bass. I haven't mentioned him yet, but on this style of music, a lot of times the bass takes a little bit of a back seat to the guitar and the drum work, but a fantastic tune. Like I said, we're 2 for 2. Now we're going to go to the title track of their debut album, Olympian, in 1995. Ian just said, really great crescendo with the song. Great live with the audience singing along. All right, man, let's check this out. The title track to their debut album from 1995, Olympian. I can see what Ian was talking about there. Really get into this singing live. I was even singing along. I know I'm a broken record. They build so nicely on this, and their instrumentation is top notch. If you talk about stuff of the time, there's Britpop, and I know this is kind of lumped into Britpop. For me, it doesn't sound like traditional Britpop, and it's also lumped into a few other musical categories when you read about the band. But even with Britpop, the guitar work is usually quite nice, and the drumming on Britpop. But then you go over to this other side of what's going on in music at the time, grunge. If you watch this channel, I'm not a huge fan of grunge. I understand its impact and everything. There's some of it that I like, but it was never really singled out for instrumentation excellence. There's some of it on there, but in general, it's not really known for that. This album so far, this top 10 so far, is excellent, man. The instrumentation is top notch, and I love Martin's voice. The song itself, it's like the other songs that we've covered so far. They're all a little vague. You can kind of read between the lines. I think this is about a love interest once again, but I don't really know. Give me something I can hold. With that something I will grow. Make me crazy with your arms. It's all gone hazy. It's all gone wrong. How can you decline such grand designs? I'm flattered that you thought I make a good reward. So I don't know if she kind of used him. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Olympian, framed by God, so bring me water to cool off. So it just kind of goes through that. And this one builds, as I mentioned, just like the other two. Always love that technique. I've got it going through my head right now, which is a very good sign that this song is excellent. We'll be back to this album, don't worry. But now we're going to go back to the Drawn to the Deep End album 2 years later in 1997 for Where Are They Now, as you see below. Ian says, the incapable breathing and incapable of love line gets me every time. Well, he singled out a line. Let's listen for that one. Where Are They Now? Much more jangly guitar. Once again, Johnny Marr Smith's type of sounding. Steve Mason does a fantastic job with that. The song itself, they've left my man, right? You said that I should look to the future. I've seen it. I'll stay here. That's how the song starts out. I think it's a fantastic way to start. A great little lyricism there. The choruses are different, right? They progress. This chorus, the smallest gesture keeps the enemy at bay. All I needed was a word. Where are they now? Everyone's left him, right? You've ever been alone? You know that even one kind word or contact with somebody can change your whole day. The sky seems a little lower, but for that, a normal day. Do I ask too much? Where are they now? And then the next chorus after the second verse. So when disaster struck, no heart left to offend. Oh, I only wanted friends. Where are they now? Will you be there forever? Say I'll never be without. Don't blame me for my doubt. And then he talks about not being able to stand alone. Then we get a nice guitar breakdown, which we really haven't had on the first few songs. And then he repeats the bridge. Verse 3, you said that I should stop trying to call you. You've had it up to here, and I know your sort, but I just can't ignore you. We get another little guitar. Not a total solo there, a little more guitar, and then the outro. Oh, I'm lost in the fog. And that lyric is, or that vocal is kind of buried in the mix a little more than the rest of the song, which I think goes along with I'm Lost in the Fog. Another great song. Now we'll go back to the Olympian album. We're going to have back-to-back tracks off here. We got London, Can You Wait? London, Can You Wait? More dialed back instrumentally. Our second song off their debut album, Olympian, after the title track. I noticed on that title track, and I know I didn't mention it during the reaction or after the song, but the keys played a much bigger part, and the keys pop up in this, again, not as much as on Olympian, but they're in here again. Some more acoustic work, because I do believe the song's about a friend dying, my kith and kin, or a relative. Oh, I have sinned. I didn't hear the siren or see him giving in, my kith and kin. Oh, I have sinned. And he said, London, can you wait? For all the things I've got to say, London, can you wait? And then that second verse ends with death. just walked in again. He ended the first verse with, oh, I have sinned again. Then he ends with, death just walked in again. Then we get the chorus. And then he says, I was having the time of my life, so why did you have to die? I'm lost again. No, I was having the time of my life, so why did you have to die? I'm lost again. Then he just ends with a series of, I'm lost again. Oh, I'm lost again. And on this one, you just get more of a serious tone just with the music itself. And it was really good. Well, now we're going to go right back to the Olympian album. We're already in the top 5. This thing's going quick. With Sleep Well Tonight, Ian tells me it is their first top 40 single. Sleep Well Tonight. Much more Brit pop sounding to me on that. The guitar work, the long outro. Really good song. I think basically he's telling his friend or someone he knows that people are coming into their territory. Don't worry. We will get them tomorrow. Sleep well tonight. It's the end of the year. I've just settled here. It may not be much, but it's enough. Yet trouble has sprung from the pubs and the clubs. We'll see blood soon when the night's through. Still, you can have it all. There's a hole in the wall. Get some money and we'll show them. This is our territory. This patch belongs to me. Why don't they understand? But I've got a plan, so come take my hand. And sleep well tonight. Tomorrow we will fight. And just some other stuff in there. And then it progresses like a lot of their stuff into a little bit different lyricism. But that is the gist of this thing. To sleep well tonight. Tomorrow we fight. Enjoyed that one. Now we're to song number 4, To See the Lights. Ian says, a song that tells a story. This is off that album that's a compilation featuring B-sides, covers, and live versions of their songs. You ask where the Spotify bar went. It's because this album is not on the US Spotify, but don't worry. I'm pulling it from YouTube, audio only, so you won't have a bar. Another song from this album may pop up here. We may have the same issue. I don't want to give it away. But number 4, To See the Lights. To See the Lights, I would say the most catchy song that we've had so far. Also, the shortest, and I think the story he's telling, I could take you from the real world, and I can take you to see the lights, but then you must go home. These are pleasant times, such happy times. And then we kind of get to it. Oh, a clever line in ruining lives. Oh, exclusively for you and me. These are frightening times, but happy times. Then it repeats, but I could take you from the real world to take you to see the lights, and then I'll drag you home. He goes from, but then you must go home too, and then I'll drag you home. These are rotten, such hostile days, a profitable way, a different face, no exclusivity for you and me. These are rotten days, such frightening days, and then that whole I could take you from the real world. Very catchy, nice little story this tells. I thought Steve was right on the guitar work on here, a very infectious riff. Matt is fantastic on the drums as well, and Martin is absolutely fantastic, I think, throughout this whole top 10 list so far. Now we're up to number 3, and we're back to the Drawn to the Deep End album in 1997. You see it below. We got Fighting Fit. Fighting Fit, as the name would indicate, much more driving throughout the entire song. Not a lot of tempo changes here, and it works perfectly. Very infectious. Each verse builds on each other into that chorus. Ian said he loved how it belts out the I can't take it, and that's what I took out of it. That's the very first lines, I can't take it. He's writing this to a girl who wants to be with her forever. I'm assuming, yes, too much time's been wasted, so come and get my playful. I am fighting fit and able. I need you. I'm waiting. I'm alone. I wanted to be so bold, but good words are never easy. I'm still young, if only, right? My blood flowing like a flood. Come and take every single bone. I will give as good as I get. I can't take it. Yes, too much time's been wasted. So he just keeps going on and on. Your shoulders act as my strength. Your skin is my only friend. I seek cover in all your glories. Talks about being tarnished and have flaws because I can't take it. Just a very infectious song. A fantastic pick for number 3. Now we're up to number 2. And as you can see below, we got Haunted by You, going back to that debut album, Olympian, in 1995. Ian said about this one, another song that invokes memories for me of watching the live performance and singing along. Not sure how it translates to listening in the studio. We'll be interested on your take. Can't really separate the memories from these songs that were so key to me growing up with places and friends. And I read that part. I mean, Ian probably meant that last part just for me, but that's what music is to all of us, right? You cannot separate the times you had with friends or family or people who are important to you with the music that you were listening to at the time. Because every time you hear that song, you think of those times. And if it's a good time, it brings a smile to your face. If it wasn't such a good time, you probably don't want to hear the song anymore. But that is what music does for you that no one else does. This is the very first song on the album. I always find that key in the debut album. What do they want us to hear first? The first thing, we ever hear from these guys. So let's check it out. Haunted by You, once again, very infectious. I can see the sing-along component of it. A lot of us have dealt with this, right? You break up with someone. That's what this song is about. I break up with someone, but I'm still haunted by you because every place I go, I'm reminded of you. I'm haunted by the things you said and the things that we did. And getting into the lyrics of the first chorus, we get, I crossed the road not high, just to avoid the times when you sat at my side, so battered by the tide, your chance is gone, you're not so strong, your tongue, they cannot harm me now. With all the things that I've said, I'm still haunted by you. In every town and every place you're waiting, but on my tongue lies disgrace, still haunted by you. Yes, you're in my way. And it just kind of goes on to repeat a lot of that stuff. More Britpop sounding than some of the other songs. And here's a couple that are like this. I really like it. I think it was a great choice for number 2. And now we get to number 1. It's not going to be on Spotify, which should be the dead giveaway if you've been paying attention that it's on To See the Lights compilation album. We have Sick, Sober, and Sorry. Ian says, I'm probably the only person in the world with this as my top Gene song. Just love the lyrics here. A great one to play and sing along with. I don't care if it's a B-side, and that's the beauty of music, man. We can all like different things. So if you're a huge Gene fan and can't believe this is number 1, Ian acknowledges it, but it's number 1 for him. Let's check this one out. Sick, Sober, and Sorry. Steve Mason killing the guitar on this last song. Obviously, this is the first time I've heard any of these songs. I don't think you made a bad choice at all at number 1, Ian. I enjoyed that one. A very quick moving song, went under 3 minutes, making it the second shortest on this list. Please don't stop me from drinking. Oh, it's my only joy. Please don't stop me from smoking. Oh, this is my reward. For all the things I've spoken and all the times I fell, for one taste of the good life, I would kill. When the storm passes, when the clouds start to break, I will stand in the sunshine, awaiting for my faith. I hope it comes quickly. I hope I feel no pain. Oh, please hold me in your sweet arms again. So now we know he's talking to probably this girl. Please don't stop me from drinking. It's only joy. At the very end, it's like, I swear I heard you cry. For one taste of a good man, I would die. He said in the first verse, for one taste of the good life, I would kill. So the way they use their lyrics cleverly throughout this top 10 list is something I just wanted to point out, because some of the lyrics are a little vague, but they're always cleverly written and they always build. So really enjoyed that one at number 1. Ian has some honorable mentions. I always like to bring them up at the end, because if I bring them at the beginning, it kind of ruins the list if you're wondering if your song's coming up. He said songs that didn't quite make it on my list may surprise other hardcore Gene fans, and I hope that shows the depth of the band rather than just my quirky taste. I've taken literally hours trying to decide what doesn't make it, and these were close. And just remember, that's what it's like when you put together one of these top 10 lists. Trey and I do that all the time, and it takes a long time. You can get it down to, depends on the group's depth, but you can get it down to 14, 15 songs, and from there, it's tough. And somebody's got a huge catalog, it might be the top 20. Trying to get it to 10 is tough. But what Ian honorable mention had on here was For the Dead, How Much for Love, As Good as It Gets, Drawn to the Deep End, I Can't Help Myself, and Be My Light, Be My Guide, which I read some stuff on that song, was quite well received. I also read how Martin kind of tried to take on some of what Morrissey did leading up to the debut album, because they had a little bit of following before that, giving outrageous interviews that were witty and articulate, yet saying some kind of out there things. So they knew how to get a little bit of buzz. I don't know why they never made it real big. I mean, those of you in the UK are going to know better than me, but I really enjoyed, honestly, every song on here. I've become a fan of them, and that's not easy to do because I listen to music every single day. I don't have time to become a fan of a lot of people, but I really did like this one. Now I'm going to pick my 3 favorite songs, as we do every time on these top 10 lists, and that is going to be really tough. I'm going to go Haunted by You. I liked the lyricism on that. To See the Light, and man, I guess I'll go Fighting Fit, but really, I mean, that's kind of a heavy top 3, but I mean, honorable mention to really everything else. I love Speak to Me Someone and We Could Be Kings, the first 2 tracks on here, number 10 and 9. They were fantastic. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. Let me know what your top Gene picks are below. Anything else I should check out in this area of music that we haven't yet. You know, we've got some Oasis up, a lot of Oasis up, some Stone Roses, a lot of Blur, some Pulp, some different things. But what else am I missing? Because I never even heard of Gene before this. And now, like I said, I've become a fan. So thanks, Ian, as always. And until next time, guys, I will see you.